Walter, a lot of people know and love you from your time at Amelia Island Plantation. But tell us, how did we come by you at Amelia Island Plantation?
Adrian Ratter, was in Saudi Arabia. Jack Heelan called Adrian and said, "Where are you?" He said, "I'm in the Middle East." He said, "Okay, well, you know a good GM possible candidate for our resort." He said, "You got to talk to Walther Vliegen. Where is he?" He said, "Well, he's in Brussels." So, a couple phone calls here and there. Great initial contact with Chris Forder. So, I flew to Amelia, to Jacksonville, picked up this and that, had a couple of meetings, and it was almost an instant karma that this is the place I wanted to be. Between resort, retail, real estate development, it was all there. They were really good about it.
Well, you mentioned that that it was all there. Actually, it was a very complicated thing for a guy who's been a hotelier for his career. With our villas and the differences there, the various organizations. We had our own laundry. My goodness, we did a lot of things that a typical hotel doesn't have to do. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, good point, because I had, of course, club experience. So you take the club members, which you had at Long Point, and the Ocean Club, and then all the things that we were basically I would say, a vertical economy. We controlled everything. From the point of if we cut some branches, they would end up being used for firewood in Amelia lobby. We had everything from the point of purchasing that would distribute to the various restaurants, the retail outlets. Amazing that we able to have this all in one fluid motion.
He got word through Pat Bryson that I was interested in leaving South Florida. And smart guy, he called my wife. Didn't call me, called my wife and talked her into a visit to Amelia Island Plantation.
Your all-time favorite place, it cannot be the Falcon's Nest on Amelia Island Plantation.
That's a great question, Walter. I'll tell you, walking under the trees, the trails between the villas, for me, that was the best.
Chris's wife, Robin, was the premier decorator for the villas. And our villas, Richard, you may know, it was beyond need for rattan furniture. Those villas needed fixing up. Creating models, and they sold. At times, troublesome, but in order to get the room rates up, we were able to get those things renovated. But anyhow, there's some people who are regretfully not able to be there. One of your closest allies, Glenn Graham. One of our fellow EC guys, Norman Bray, some other people, many greats in the resort and club and real estate development business. What are your sentiments about those people who have gone before us?
I had a very special place in my heart for certainly Norman Bray and Glenn Graham. A great guy, wonderful sales leader, and a great teacher. And so he meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And Patty was part of the family as well.
Right.
His wife Patty.
The Coopers, though.
Also, Dick was a great man, and his bride. They had such a vision for Amelia, and to protect it the way they did, to care for the property owners who, in not every case, appreciated all of their sacrifices, or those for our team members.
Chris Forder had a large automobile. Do you remember that? Was it a Continental or something?
Yeah, a Lincoln Continental or a large Cadillac. It was.
And when the laundry burned down, it was a good example of how we all banded together. Because what did we do? We said, okay, we'll go. It was Jack's idea. We'll go to the Holiday Inn at the airport. We can see if we can have our employees, so we'd have to lay them off, be at their laundry, do our laundry, and while we rebuild everything. And those things were, good examples of where we all, just work together in other crises that we mastered quite well.
And the work in rebuilding the laundry gave us another opportunity. We wound up doing the work for the Ritz-Carlton too.
Right. When I negotiated the contract with the Ritz-Carlton, we all, it was Glenn, yourself, who else? John May, rooms division director. We had on RCAIP with a slash in the middle. There was going to be a laundry alliance, and we negotiated the contract at about, I think, 38 cents a pound. And of course, we hoped that all the towels, the beach towels from the Ritz-Carlton, would be weighed down heavily by their beach sand, so we would be able to increase the billing by a fair amount, and we kind of did. It was all fair, but it was still good. I mean, I think we have, because it was complicated between the club,
Yes.
the AIPC, all those acronyms with SLT, senior leadership, EC,
Executive committee, right?
right. What else did we have? Words with Walther
Words with Walther.
every morning, 8 o'clock.
And
right?
we all
In the
had
lobby.
one-on-ones, that's
Right,
for sure.
Right. Our friend Chad Schleyer came up with, okay, in case people can't be there, we'll have these little cards that say, all right, this is what's going on. These are the VIPs.
Yes.
These are the specials. So-and-so is here. Look out for them. And that was really brilliant because I dare say, in the age of electronic communication, that was an analog thing. Have a cup of coffee.
It was.
Meet at 8 o'clock, or stand up, although we all sat down, of course. And I think the resort guests would see us in action, making sure that they have a great experience. And I think we've all been part of that experience.
It was a complicated experience and quite the organization. And then we stir in the crazy, wonderful events that we actually had. So we hosted the Bausch & Lomb Women's Tennis Championship longer than I think any other ATP location. Tell me, what was your fondest and maybe most interesting experience with the Bausch & Lomb?
Well, of course, meeting a fellow countrywoman, Justine Henin, when she won. Of course, she only won after on I think it was a rainy Saturday morning, remeasured the courts because the alignment was maybe off by 18 inches. Well, for a true tennis player, and you are, Richard, that would make a marked difference. So they were remeasured, and I think the media kind of forgave us because we started the matches just about on time, and it was just a glorious day. Maybe that is the message how we overcame altogether challenges, whether it was 911, whether it was recession, real estate, whether it was these things that I think with the leadership, the ownership of Dick Cooper, the leadership of Jack and the executive team, it was really absolutely epic. Yeah, but I'm going to zoom in on your shirt.
Oh, yes.
That's
Oh, yeah.
right.
I still have fond memories of the plantation, but I also have a little bit of merch left over to remind me of the great times that we had.
And the Falcon's Nest, eventually. What a great vision. So you and Sharon designed the logo. Can you hold up the logo to the camera?
Yeah. So the Falcon's Nest was an inspiration of Jack's. He knew that we had so many property owners who were involved in aviation and in wartime aviation, and we were able to convince them. Laura Heelan did a lot of the legwork too, to share with us many of their items, their memorabilia, and it made up the look of the Falcon's Nest. And I dare say it was a brilliant idea.
Our 4th of July was always a very exciting, family-oriented experience.
Yeah, truly amazing. There we had a couple of air shows, the fireworks display over the ocean, and yet the resort, because of how many acres did we have? 1,200 acres, 1,100 acres. It never felt crowded. We had plenty of parking. There was always enough of a spread between the beach club and the hotel buildings that we were able to really accommodate. It never felt like one of those mega resorts. We had the golf cart parade, so many other things that we had engaging the club, because of course Long Point was a mile and a half away. I think it was Memorial Day when we did the flag memorial at the clubhouse, and it was important for the veterans of whom we had a few in the club, that they were able to get recognized, because we wouldn't be here where we are today without their efforts back in the day. And I think also, Jack Hill in the Citadel, we've heard a few stories about his brilliant military career. We should not talk about how some of the bartenders back in the day were on top of the bar. They were not behind the bar, on top of the bar dancing. And that was okay, because they were truly the good times.
It was a great place, and I think it's fair to say that the Falcon's Nest, and that everybody would agree, that the Falcon's Nest was a significant improvement over the old loft. And I know there are...
Do you think it's odd that the Falcon's Nest is located only a footbridge away from the chapel? It was.
That's
we
very
needed the
true.
chapel parking lot for parking for the drunks, right?
Well, it was a good idea to be near to consecrated ground, because goodness knows there was a lot of hell raised at the Falcon's Nest.
We had Watsu on a special separate island at the spa. That was spectacular. We've all been in saltwater pools. That was an amazing experience.
Yeah. The Watsu experience was crazy. It was brand new. It was we were leading the pack in the spa world. Liz Hutto's contribution to that was really very special.
And truly, that little Watsu island, it was, the tagline was, it's not something commercial,
Right.
in harmony with nature.
Harmony with nature.
Well, a question one year when the 4th of July was going to be in the middle of the week, and there was some question about whether we should move the celebration to the weekend. And I recall very clearly Jack's position that not at all, that it's the 4th of July and that's when we're going to do the event. And upon reconsideration, the revenue management team fell in line, and ultimately we learned that a Wednesday 4th of July, we actually did more business when it was in the middle of the week than when it was on the weekend. Right. So
Amelia Island Plantation was truly a private place. It was a getaway for all of Jacksonville and beyond.
it was a wonderful getaway. And the fact that we preserved the privacy of our celebrity guests was something that distinguished us.
Little known fact, Jack would say, I'm going to be the MOD on Christmas Day. Give him an opportunity to go around to all the departments and hand out baked goods by Karen to all the people who were, of course, working that day, who are all dedicated to the great causes.
Jack Heelan's got a wonderful story about Michael Jackson being a guest.
Right,
And we should make sure he tells that story to everyone at the reunion, August 31st, 2024.
Dollar beers. What can you tell me about dollar beers? And Fridays.
Well, it's something that we made famous. That's certainly the case at the Falcon's Nest. I like to think that we were a whole lot more careful than we were, but all's well that ends well. After 9/11, that were very important and very successful.
Think of earlier we said it was not human resources, it was staff development. We wanted to develop the staff. Endless classes by Barbara Ross that you could gain credits and all those things that made people who had not been exposed to the hospitality business really better trained and better engaged employees. And that was a sense of connection that is immensely proud.
Absolutely. When travel in this country shut down, when resorts and hotels across America, and especially in Florida, closed their doors, let their people go, we found a way, find a new audience, and keep the doors open and keep the money moving so that we could keep our team employed. And
About the opening of the spine shops.
Well, we participated in a fashion show. Not all the pieces of garments, all the stuff that we wore was correctly sized, but there's the pin you up from the back, and Ron Cambridge and the retail department did a great job. You can imagine overnight opening up 4 shops and the signature shop and the spa all at one time, and people were really eager. I remember with Liz Hutto smelling flowers so we could develop the spa scent. So just like the Four Seasons Hotel, they have a signature scent. We developed the same thing. And those that we didn't have human resources, that is such a cliche word, but it was staff development. We want to develop our staff into these great managers. And if I think, when you interview me, Richard, the places people have gone, it is remarkable. Now, the Segway tours that people could just tour and take in conveniently through the retail village, through the thing, up to the end, have a cup of coffee, all those things were truly innovative. To say that, the Boltons, they have all stayed because they believed in the mission that we gave them, and so there we are.
it's a very special place.
The acronym for PLAY, that would have been,
People laughing and eating.
but
That was why he had that unusual spelling.
right. But Gary Ross on the deck on Friday afternoons was not a better place. People didn't think about eating. They was going to have a cocktail and listen to Margaritaville with Gary Ross, who hopefully will be there.
Yeah.
I think he'll be there. We were the place to go to.
Absolutely. And
And that's what I think set us all apart. Rather than a standard resort, we had this unique resort operation, which was appreciated by, I would say,
Liaison to many of the other departments when I felt like I needed unlimited golf or beach services. I knew that I could count on you to understand the value of that.
That's right,
and to
because you
pitch
said
that.
we have a golf course. It's not like we don't have a golf course. So indeed, there were revenue committee meetings were at times tough, but we had many owners who wanted to protect the revenue, the payroll, housekeeping had a huge role. What do you mean a 4-night minimum? Yeah, okay, that doesn't mean you don't have to do housekeeping every day. those things. Fond hotel memories.
Absolutely, absolutely. Reunion. Anything that you'd like to say about the reunion and the people you hope to see there?
Well, I know of many of the locals, between Al Wallace, Johnny May, Tim Seda, and so many other people. I think, of course, Jack and Karen, and Al, the whole gang, the people we had on the senior management team, they were just really fantastic people. And they haven't gone, so far away. I think Beth Bolton is still there with her husband having a little restaurant, the Fried Tomato or something. Anyhow, so I mean, it's great that the spirit of the resort basically stayed with what, Jack had built, and we would make fun of the pronunciation. Sea Pines Plantation. The I would be elongated. Sea Pines Plantation. And I've been really, really very fond of having part of it.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a wonderful experience, and I hope everybody has a chance to be there, or like we say, be square.
That's right. Be on the island.
That's it.
Great. Thank you, Richard. Great.
I hope so.
This
Certainly.
is just great to look forward to. Saturday, August the 31st.
Right.
And
Be there or be square, as they say.
thank you very much. And, that logo needs to be propelled again onto the mini screen. It's hiding behind a glass of Guinness. That is a good conclusion. Richard, thank you very much.